All right, class, the next of our most missed problems is 5.04, number 10, another find the data point when you're given a percentage, except you're given the percentage a little different this time on number 10. They say the scores on the Wechsler IQ test for 20 to 34 age group approximately normally distributed with a mean of 110 and a standard deviation of 25. So mean equals 110, standard deviation equals 25 on this one. So Mensa is an elite organization that admits as members people who score in the top 2% of tests. So only the highest of test scores get in. What score on the Wechsler scale would an individual have to earn to qualify for Mensa membership? So I expect my score to be pretty high, right? So go ahead and pull up Staplet and pause if you need to get Staplet up to be ready for this problem. All right, and I'm going to select normal distribution. And I'm given the percentage, the area. What I'm trying to find is the score. So I'm going to select calculate a value corresponding to an area. My average IQ score is 110 and my standard deviation is 25. So I'm going to plot that. So I got my average there at 110. Now, when they say top 2%, that means only 2% of people scored higher. So that's a really high score, right? Only 2% of people scored higher. So that would be right tail. All right, so 2% is going to be equal to 0.02, not 0.2, 0.02, right? So 0.02 for the percentage right there, and this is going to be right tail because only 2% of people beat this score. So you think of this, 2% of people beat it, right tail, is equal to 161.344. 344. And I expect that, right? That answer makes logical sense to me. It should be a really high score to be in the top 2%. If you think of these logically, you should never get them wrong. Because say you accidentally pick left tail and you got 58 and you're like, would a 58 IQ be high enough to make Mensa and put me in the top 2%? Not a chance. So I know it's the right tail one is the way I should have done it. And I get 161.344. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Now I want to show you something else here and show you how to use percentile as the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as top 2% is the 98th percentile. So I want you to think of it like that. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to do the normal distribution again with 110 and 25. And I want to show you these are kind of the same thing because the top 2% means only 2% of people scored higher. That's the same thing as the 98th percentile, which means 98% scored lower. And that would be left tail. And I wanted to show you kind of how these work with each other. Just kind of show you conceptually that the 98th percentile is the same thing as the top 2%. So I'm going to put this in again, and I'm going to do the calculated value corresponding to an area like we're supposed to, and I'm going to put in 0.98. Now think of this logically. The top 2% was 161.344. It means only 2% of people scored higher. That means the same thing as 98% scoring lower, because if 2% scored higher, 98% scored lower, right? So you should get the same answer, and you do. You get 161.344. And it checks out. It's the same answer on both of them. So I wanted you to see how percentile and top blank percent work. Percentile would be left tail if they give it to you in percentile. Top 2%, 3%. Top percentage would be right tail. So just make sure you remember the difference between the two and know which one to use on the test. All right, so that is 5.4, number 10.